Hello everyone. Thanks so much for coming over to watch this video. What I'd like to teach you in this video tutorial is how to sign up for HostGator, which is obviously for your website. And then once you do that and you are in the inside, in other words, inside your cPanel, how can you go about installing WordPress and then doing the basic configurations to get it up and running and live? So you're able to log in and start working on your website. So the first thing that we want to do here is look at the different packages that HostGator has. So depending on what you're trying to do, you can choose which package will work for you. Now, if you're looking to host your own website, you're not into reselling hosting, or you're not looking to spend too much money, you can go with their different basic hosting accounts that they have, like the baby plan or the business plan. If you're getting started as a beginner, what I recommend you do is to go with the baby plan, which is more affordable and convenient for what you're probably going to be doing. If you're not a business, if you don't want the, for example, private SSL, an IP or a toll-free number, things like that, you may just want to do the baby option. The first option, if it's just one domain, go ahead and go with this plan. 90% of everyone I work with always has at least more than, one domain. So going with this baby plan, as you can see, you have unlimited domains, unlimited disk space and bandwidth, and you get the shared SSL certificate. So for $636 versus $396, you get more for your money, right? So let's go ahead. We're going to go with this option. We'll go ahead and click on Order Now. The registration process is very simple. All you have to do is make sure you're registering either a new domain or already own this domain. I'm thinking that if you're getting started as a beginner, you may want to go ahead and register a domain while you're here and make it part of your HostGator account so that you have hosting and the domain with it. You can manage both accounts. But in many situations, in many scenarios, customers that I work with already have their own GoDaddy domain or Namecheap domain, whatever domain register that you're using. You can go ahead and choose I already own this domain. Okay, so either or, it doesn't matter. You just choose the option. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to select that I already own a domain. So I'll go ahead and basically choose one of my test domains in the list. So give me a moment. All right. Then once you put the domain on there, it's obviously going to let you know that if you already own this domain, it may go ahead and recognize other options that you may want to go ahead and get while you're here, like .biz, .info, .net, etc. For this option here, simply leave it blank because you already said you own this domain. So simply leave it as is, move on to the next step. Remember, we're choosing the baby plan, so keep it as is. And if you don't want to put too much money out up front, you're getting started, I'll choose to do the monthly option from $796 versus the complete year option where you pay, you calculate that for 12 months. Well, in this case, would be 36 months. They have 24 months and then a 12 month. Okay, so I'm going to choose the monthly option, which works great for me. Here, go ahead and give yourself a username so that you can log into your HostGator account. So let's make this basic. Let me go ahead and come up with something. Whatever, there you go. No? Okay, let me do something different. All right, I'll go with that. Then the security pin, normally they recommend 4 to 8 character long. So I'll go ahead and choose whatever. You know, in this case, this will just be a test. Go ahead and then now fill in your credit card information, you know, whatever you're going to be using for payment, and fill in the blanks on there. So what I'll do in this case, I'll go ahead and choose an email. Bear with me. And it's a good thing when you're using Chrome, for example, it kind of auto refills everything on here. So I'll go ahead and fill in the blanks, company name, etc. And then you can go ahead and put in your credit card information or PayPal information. The next options when it comes to the hosting add-ons, this is something that you can take advantage while you're here. However, as a beginner or someone getting started, I don't recommend you add any of these options. It's not necessary or required for you to have a website. So for now, I'm going to skip on these options. If you have a coupon, go ahead and put that on here, which in fact I do. You can make a note of this as well if you like to utilize this coupon code. That's going to be P like Paul, S like Sam, Z like Zebra, A like Apple, B like Boy, O like October, H like hosting, O like October again, S like Sam, and then T. There it is. I'm going to give the screen about a few seconds, give you some time to write that down. Then once you're done at the end here, guys, all you have to do is give it a nice check mark here that you agree to the terms and conditions. It's going to give you an idea on the price you will be paying. Okay, and then create your account. So it's going to go ahead and charge your card, create your account based on these credentials, sign you up for this plan, and then using this domain. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's say that you have already done that, and then you're ready to log into your HostGator account. The moment you place the order, guys, you're going to get an email, which it will basically, they'll provide you as far as your hosting username and password, your IP addresses, your DNS records, you name it. And so let's say that you have done that already and you're logged into your cPanel, okay? Once you're logged in, what we now want to do is that we need to point your domain, if you're using your domain from a different registering company like GoDaddy or Namecheap, Bluehost, I think, sells domains as well. From anywhere that you are using that domain from, we want to go inside the settings of that domain and change the DNS records to go over to your HostGator account. Okay. Now, if you purchased the domain when you signed up for HostGator, as you saw the first option on the top, then he automatically uses HostGator DNS records. Okay. Now, with that in mind, let's just say that you are using a domain that's registered somewhere else, like, for example, GoDaddy, which is very popular. All right. So remember that we used the successwithalan.com in this example. So I'm going to go inside the domain just by simply clicking on. And by the way, guys, to access all your domains in your GoDaddy account, let me bring you over to the home page here. Once you logged in, you simply launch the domains app right here. It gives you the list of all your domains. Click on the one you're going to be changing. And then you're going to see that here it says name servers. This is what we're going to be updating. So click on manage. Once you're in here, obviously we want to custom this so that we can change that. And then you can enter custom name server records. And in this case, once you logged into your HostGator account, scroll down just a bit, and you will then see the DNS name servers, if you will, that you need to be using right there. So all you have to do is copy number 1, put it here, copy number 2, put it here, and simply then, let me make a note there, click OK. And now as you can see, it's using those custom DNS records for that domain, and then I'll click on save. That's it. You may want to give that change a few hours, sometimes a few minutes. On a worst case scenario, give it up to 72 hours for it to fully populate. 90% of the times when I do this for clients, I've seen it be done less than an hour. So once you do these, let's consider this step done, right? So you go ahead and close it. Simply close that. Now, speaking of that, just to kind of show you this slide so that you can see how quick this is, I'm actually going to make that change just because I really want to show you how quick it is, really, when you're doing this. So let me go ahead and pull up the domains again in a moment. I'm going to go inside that particular domain that I'm going to be editing. Excuse me if I'm doing this again, but I want to show you a theory so you see what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's 6153, 6154. Okay, so we'll change those records and click save, right? So it lets you know up here that the name servers have been updated, and it will be in effect pretty soon. So let's say that we just did this, right? So the final thing that we want to do now is install a WordPress website. Obviously, that's what we're going to be focusing on, using that domain and using your HostGator account, right? So now HostGator has 2 options on how you can install and configure a WordPress website. There is an application at the very end here, if you scroll down to the end under software and services, called Fantastico Deluxe. So if you go inside here, which is one option, this is for those who are advanced, if you will. You know how to, you know, do this whole hosting, this whole WordPress install, configure. You've played with this before. Then use this option. I'm going to take you over to the second option, which is much easier. It's a 2-click installation. So, but on this note, click on WordPress on the left here. And once you do that, we're going to choose to have a new installation. As you can see here, new installation. Give that a second. Once you're in here, obviously you'll have that domain in the list. So once you do, let's go ahead and choose it, right? But now let's say that you chose that you own a domain already. You did not, purchased a domain from HostGator. What you then want to do to be able to see that domain in the list, you first want to go to add on domains. Now the fact that, let me point this out, this normally only works when you're adding more than that one domain that you signed up with, okay? If you signed up and chose that you own a domain or you purchased one, it should be in the list, okay? But just so that I can finish my tutorial, I'm going to add the domain that I'm going to be using just for the sample of this video. So I'll go ahead and add it on here, right? Everything else that it populates automatically, you can leave it. Sorry, let me go over here and copy this domain really quick. The defaults down here, guys, you can leave that if you don't know really what all that means. So just leave it alone. Give this domain a password if you want to later on manage it. And then you click on add domain. And you can do this one step every time you need to add a domain to your HostGator account, okay? And what you're going to learn now in this video as we get towards the end is the same thing you will do to add a domain, install a WordPress, and build, in this case, make that WordPress website go live. And from there, you know, you add your theme, you add your plugins, you take it from there. So once I have the domain added on there, either scenario, if you have already signed up for HostGator, as you have just now, and you just chose that you own or you register one, you'll have it in the list when you go into, let's go back to the Fantastical application. Or if you don't, because you add in a new domain, let's say you have the option to choose add-on domains, add your domain as I just showed you, and then when you choose WordPress here, wait a moment, then you choose new installation, and then now you're going to be able to see that domain that I just added in the list, in this case, your domain. So once you choose your domain, the install in directory, leave that blank unless you know what to do. You can read this here to kind of give you an idea of what that does. So for now, give yourself a username. This would be the username that you're going to use at the beginning to log into your WordPress. So go ahead and give yourself a username and password. And give this administrator a nickname. I normally just like to put my full name on there, for example. Give yourself an email. This email is important for you to put on here because it's where they're going to send you updates and anything related to your WordPress website. Just for now, you can change these options, the admin nickname, the email, the site name, and the description later on once you access your WordPress. But for now, give us something basic so that you know what it's about. Test website, right? And then a description, video tutorial demo, whatever you want to give, put on here. And then you choose install WordPress, okay? Now that's option number one. Once you have the install WordPress, what it's going to do is that once it's fully done, it's going to take you back to a list that looks like this. Let me show you. Right? And then all you have to do is choose visit site. And when you do, it's going to take you to the login screen where you then use that username and password you created. Okay? Now, let's say that you want to use a much simpler option. Then let me take you over to, again, software and services, quick install. It's a lot faster, less options, 1, 2, 3. Okay? So you come to this option. Give it a moment. Now, once you're in here, guys, the same thing applies. Choose WordPress on the left. And by the way, using either option, guys, either Fantastical or Quick Install, you can install different types of websites. As you can see on the left here, contact management software sites. There's several options. Obviously, the most popular is WordPress, so that's what we're focusing on in this video. So once you choose WordPress, you click Continue. And then here the options are similar to the other option. So we'll go ahead and choose the domain. And by the way, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to finish the installation using this option, thinking maybe you'd rather go the easiest way, than using Fantastical. So I choose my domain. Again, the directory, leave it blank, as I mentioned. Do you want the WordPress website to automatically upgrade every time WordPress releases a new update? I recommend you do that. Give your admin an email. Give this any title. Demo site, whatever you want to. This is just basic for now, by the way. Once you get access to your WordPress, you can change all these later on. Give your WordPress an admin user, meaning this is a username and password you're going to be using. And then you install now. Let me point something out really quick just so that you know. The moment I choose install now, I'm going to get an email, which inside that email is going to have obviously my username. But as you can see, I do not have an option for a password because that's going to be emailed to me. Or also it's going to be provided to me on here. It's been a while since I used this option. So on the other end, using Fantastico, you have the option to choose a password right then and there. So you can quickly get access to your website. So again, whatever option you may want to use. So let's say I'm going to use this one. So I choose install now. It's going to give you a percentage progress. So let it be done. Normally this will move through really quickly. Now by the time we've done with installing WordPress, accessing WordPress, all that, the DNS record changes that we did for your name servers, all that is already in effect. So as you can see here, congratulations, you've done installing WordPress, and looks like either or you'll get that generated password versus assigning your own password right when you're installing WordPress. So Fantastico may work better for you because you can choose what password and username to use right then and there. With the quick install, it generates one for you, which I'm going to go ahead and copy this just for now. And then all you have to do is go into the website, and as you can see here, this will be where you go to log in. Anytime you want to access your website, you always do the /wp-admin. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over there. And if it gives me the login screen, which I expect it to, then obviously the domain already took effect, as you can see, right? So all you will have to do from here, guys, is simply put that username and password, log it in, and you will then be inside your WordPress. Let me show you a basic website. So the moment you log in, so that you can see what it looks like, I believe it's, I guess will be demo. Okay, so watch this. Okay, so if you notice, this is just an example. I use this just to, play with, make videos, tutorials with, etc. So anytime I want to access the website, I just go to wp/admin. In this case, will be where you're at now. Is this login screen is what you should be seeing. Then go ahead and put that username and that password that you created, remember? And then once you go inside, you have the option to quickly change your password to whatever you want if you chose the quick install. To do that, right on the top right, click Edit My Profile. When it takes you in here, you can go ahead and fill in the blanks if you want to give this, remember, a nickname. Remember we talked about that. First and last name, and how would you like your name to display on the top right here. Give this an email, a website, fill in some information, and then you can customize a password that you like to use right here and update your profile. And then from that point on, you'll be using that new password, not the generated one. If you use the fantastical option, obviously you have the username and password that you can choose right then and there. All right, so once you're in the inside, guys, you now have access to your WordPress website. Your WordPress website is live, and all it needs is for you to install your theme, whatever you're going to use. By default, it's going to use the 2014, I believe, or 12 theme, which is part of WordPress. Once you are ready to install a premium theme, you go ahead and click on Add New. Then you may want to go ahead and do your plugins, the same thing. You choose some plugins, add your plugins, and you can rock it from there. Start designing, editing, and making your website looking great. So thanks so much for watching, guys. If you have any questions, post your comments below this video. Contact us, and I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Enjoy it. Talk soon.